1981. A woman calls into a late-night country radio show. She doesn't ask for a song. She doesn't make a request. She asks the DJ a simple question. Is Conway Twitty married? The DJ laughs, says he gets that question twice a night, always from women, never about any other singer. And that's where people misunderstood Conway Twitty, because it wasn't his looks, and it wasn't just his voice. It was something country music wasn't used to yet, how close he was willing to get to the listener. And that closeness would quietly change everything. Most people remember Conway Twitty for his voice, that calm, steady delivery that never seemed to strain. But that's only the surface, because Conway Twitty's greatest strength was never his voice. It was intimacy. Picture another moment, late at night, the house finally quiet, the radio turned down low, not because you're listening closely, but because you don't want the silence either. Then Conway comes on. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't announce himself, he just settles in. And without realizing it, you stop what you're doing. That wasn't an accident, that was the design. When Conway stepped fully into country music, the genre still kept emotional distance. Songs talked about love, heartbreak, regret, but usually from a safe place. Proud, measured, controlled. Men sang about feeling without sounding like they needed anyone. Conway changed that. Not loudly, quietly, and that quiet carried risk. Plenty of singers had bigger voices, more power, more grit, more swagger. Conway could have leaned into that. Instead, he did something dangerous for the time. He sounded like a man who felt things, not symbolically, not poetically, personally. There was a real chance it could have ended him, that men would tune out, that radio would move on, that vulnerability would be mistaken for weakness. But he did it anyway. Listen to Hello Darlin' again. Notice what he doesn't do. He doesn't push the opening, doesn't decorate the line, doesn't prove what he's capable of. He waits, lets the words sit, and that patience does something unexpected. It makes the listener lean in. That closeness wasn't softness, it was control. And a few years later, that closeness came with consequences. In 1973, Conway released You've Never Been This Far Before. It went straight to #1, and at the same time, dozens of radio stations refused to play it. Too intimate, they said. Too suggestive. Too much. Program directors warned him. Some urged him to pull it back, change a line, soften the delivery. Conway didn't change a word. He didn't raise his voice either. He just stayed where he was. That's the moment. Not a scandal, not a speech. A quiet decision to trust the listener, even when the industry didn't. And the audience stayed with him. Conway didn't sing at people. He sang like he was already in the room, already aware of the silence, already aware of what hadn't been said. And when someone sings like that, it stops feeling like a performance. It starts feeling like recognition. That's why women responded the way they did. Not because he was smooth, but because he felt safe, emotionally. He wasn't chasing, he wasn't claiming, he was listening. And that kind of attention was rare, especially then. Critics didn't always know what to do with him. Some dismissed the music as indulgent, called it slow, called it too personal. But what they missed was the courage underneath it. Because Conway was willing to stand still in a genre that rewarded armor. He didn't hide longing, didn't disguise need. He trusted that honesty would land where it needed to land. You hear this most clearly in his duets. Conway never crowded another voice. He adjusted, pulled back, left space. Not because he lacked confidence, but because he understood something fundamental. Connection lives in the space you don't fill. That was the shift. Before Conway, intimacy in country music was implied. After him, it was allowed. Not exaggerated, not dramatized, just spoken plainly. And once that door opened, it never fully closed. As trends changed, louder artists came through. Bigger production, bigger images, bigger statements. Many faded when the sound moved on. Conway didn't, because his music wasn't built on fashion. It was built on trust. Here's a simple test. Play Conway Twitty for someone who's never heard him. Don't explain, don't frame it, just let the song play. They won't react immediately. They won't say, "What a voice." But days later, they'll ask you who that was, because something stayed. That's not technique, that's presence. And in a world that keeps getting louder, Conway Twitty reminds us of something country music once understood, that the strongest thing a singer can offer isn't power, it's closeness. And that's why his music still knows where to find you, even now.